298 species in genus Nepeta, Catmint. What is catmint? Catmint, scientifically known as Nepeta, is a perennial herbaceous plant that belongs to the mint family, Lamiaceae. It's native to Europe, Asia, and Africa, but is commonly cultivated in gardens worldwide for its ornamental and aromatic qualities. Catmint typically has gray-green foliage and produces spikes of small lavender, blue, or white flowers during the summer months, which are attractive to bees and butterflies. One of the distinguishing features of catmint is its ability to attract cats, similar to catnip, due to the presence of nepeta-lactone, a compound that elicits a playful response in many felines. Catmint is also used in herbal medicine and can be brewed into teas or used as a flavoring in cooking. Overall, it's a versatile and attractive plant that adds beauty and fragrance to gardens while also providing enjoyment for cats and potential health benefits for humans. Ornamental catmints. While catnip holds a special place in my heart, I'm equally enamored by the ornamental varieties of Nepeta. These plants are prized for their attractive foliage, long blooming season, and ability to attract pollinators like bees and butterflies. See full list at monsteraholic.com. Is catmint invasive? I've found catmint to be a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a beautiful and fragrant plant that attracts bees and butterflies, which I absolutely love seeing in my garden. However, it can be quite invasive if left unchecked. I remember planting just a small patch of catmint a few years ago, and now it seems to be popping up everywhere. While I appreciate its resilience and ability to thrive in various conditions, I've had to put in quite a bit of effort to keep it from taking over other areas of my garden. Overall, I'd say it's a lovely addition to any garden, but requires careful monitoring to prevent it from spreading too aggressively. Is catmint edible? I've never personally tried eating catmint myself, but I know that it's considered safe for consumption by humans. I've read that some people use it in herbal teas or as a flavoring in cooking, similar to other mint varieties. However, I've mainly grown catmint for its ornamental value and its ability to attract pollinators to my garden. I might consider experimenting with using it in culinary endeavors in the future, but for now, I'm content to enjoy its beauty and fragrance in my garden. Does catmint attract cats? Is catmint safe for cats? Catmint can indeed attract cats due to its aromatic compounds, which are similar to those found in catnip. Some cats may exhibit playful behavior or rub against catmint when they encounter it. However, while catmint is generally safe for cats, it's essential to monitor their interactions with the plant. In small amounts, catmint is unlikely to cause harm to cats, but consuming large quantities could potentially lead to digestive issues. As with any plant, it's wise to observe your cat's behavior around catmint and ensure they don't ingest excessive amounts. Overall, catmint can be a safe and enjoyable enrichment for cats in moderation. Is catmint the same as catnip? Yes, catmint and catnip are closely related plants, but they're not exactly the same. Catnip, Nepeta cataria, is a specific species of plant within the Nepeta genus, known for its euphoric effects on cats due to the compound nepeta-lactone found in its leaves and stems. Catnip is the variety commonly associated with eliciting playful behavior in cats. On the other hand, catmint refers to several species within the Nepeta genus, including Nepeta mausinnii and Nepeta fawcynii, which are often grown for their ornamental value in gardens. While both catnip and catmint contain nepeta-lactone and may have similar effects on cats, catmint is typically grown more for its aesthetic appeal in gardens rather than specifically for its use with cats. Is catmint a perennial? Yes, catmint is indeed a perennial plant. Perennials are plants that live for more than 2 years, and catmint fits this description. It regrows from its roots year after year, typically blooming during the spring and summer months. This makes it a great choice for gardeners looking for long-lasting plants that return each growing season without needing to be replanted. In my experience, catmint has been a reliable and enduring addition to my garden, coming back year after year to provide its beautiful foliage and aromatic flowers. Is catmint deer-resistant? In my experience, catmint is generally considered to be deer-resistant. Deer typically avoid plants with strong scents or tastes, and catmint's aromatic foliage can act as a deterrent. While no plant is completely deer-proof, catmint is often listed as a good option for gardens in areas where deer browsing is a concern. However, It's worth noting that deer preferences can vary depending on factors such as local food availability and population density. In my garden, I've found that catmint has remained largely untouched by deer, which is a relief considering the damage they can cause to other plants. Is catmint safe for dogs? Catmint is generally considered safe for dogs, but as with any plant, it's essential to monitor your pet's interactions with it. While catmint doesn't contain any known toxins that are harmful to dogs, ingesting large quantities of plant material could potentially lead to digestive upset, such as vomiting or diarrhea. In my experience, my dog has shown little interest in catmint compared to my cat, but every pet is different. If you're concerned about your dog consuming catmint, you may want to supervise them in the garden or consider planting it in an area they can't access. Overall, while catmint is not typically harmful to dogs, it's always best to err on the side of caution and prevent excessive consumption. When to cut back catmint? In my experience, the best time to cut back catmint is in the early spring, just as new growth begins to emerge. This timing allows you to remove any dead or damaged growth from the previous season and encourages the plant to produce fresh, healthy foliage. I typically wait until I see new shoots starting to appear at the base of the plant before pruning. Using clean and sharp pruning shears, I carefully trim back the stems to just above the new growth, being sure not to cut too far down as this can damage the plant. This early spring pruning helps to rejuvenate the catmint and promotes a more compact and tidy growth habit throughout the growing season. Additionally, I may also deadhead spent flowers throughout the summer to encourage continuous blooming and maintain the plant's appearance. Overall, regular pruning and maintenance help to keep catmint looking its best and ensure its long-term health in the garden. When do catmint bloom? Catmint typically blooms in the late spring to early summer, depending on your climate and specific variety. In my experience, I've seen catmint start to bloom around late May or early June, with its lovely spikes of lavender, blue, or white flowers appearing atop the foliage. The exact timing of the blooming period can vary based on factors such as temperature and daylight hours. How long does catmint bloom? The duration of catmint's blooming period can also vary depending on growing conditions and the specific variety. Generally, catmint will bloom for several weeks, often lasting into the summer months. With proper care, deadheading spent flowers can encourage continued blooming throughout the season, extending the overall flowering period. In my garden, I've enjoyed several weeks of beautiful blooms from my catmint plants each year, which adds color and interest to the landscape during the early to midsummer months. Does catmint repel mosquitoes? While catmint is known for its aromatic foliage and is often said to repel certain insects, such as mosquitoes, its effectiveness in this regard can vary. Catmint contains Nepeta, a compound that gives it its distinctive scent and also acts as a natural insect repellent. Some people claim that planting catmint around outdoor living areas can help deter mosquitoes, but scientific evidence supporting this claim is limited. In my experience, while catmint may have some insect-repelling properties, it's not a foolproof solution for keeping mosquitoes at bay. Other factors, such as the concentration of Nepeta in the plant and environmental conditions, can influence its effectiveness. While I enjoy growing catmint for its ornamental value and its attractiveness to pollinators, I wouldn't rely solely on it as a mosquito repellent. Instead, I use a combination of strategies, such as citronella candles, insect repellent sprays, and removing standing water, to help minimize mosquito presence in my outdoor spaces. Is catmint evergreen? Catmint is typically not evergreen in most climates. It is a perennial plant, meaning it regrows from its roots year after year, but it tends to be deciduous, meaning it loses its leaves in the winter months. In colder climates, catmint may die back to the ground entirely in the winter and regrow from the roots in the spring. However, in milder climates, some varieties of catmint may retain their leaves throughout the winter, especially if temperatures remain relatively mild. In my experience, the foliage of catmint often remains green and attractive during the growing season, but may turn brown or die back in colder weather. Overall, while catmint is a hardy and resilient plant, it's not typically considered evergreen in most regions.